One of our very first actions was to put together a Celbridge heritage and tourism plan. The significant thing about the plan is it had input from Kildare County Council, Fáilte Ireland, OPW and the local stakeholders. So a broad range of people had input into this strategy. Along with that, just to mention, it was the brainchild of a small little committee in the tidy towns. Just to say that the seed was sown there, and the first draft came out of a small committee of the tidy towns. And then later, through the forum, it had input from several people. And sent it to First Western Consultancy. And the reason we did that is that they're well recognised in tourism, in the tourism sector. And by having the First Western stamp on it, it meant when we then went looking for a grant, it gave it credence. So we're delighted. We have a strategy. But what matters is a lot of these gather dust, as a lot of you know. So what matters is, well, what are you doing now? So what we've done is, as I say, we're not together very long, but we have already gone through some of the objectives. And one of them was to produce a Celbridge Heritage Trail audio guide. So this banner tells you about that. It's very, very attractive, and if you want to know more, there are brochures about that guide in the window, okay? So another thing that the strategy said to us was, if you're looking at tourism, don't just look in your own back garden. It's like if you go to Clifton, you might decide, well, look, I'm going to visit Roundstone, I'm also going to go to Galway. So when we looked at our own area, we could see in North East Kildare there's a wonderful necklace of heritage. So what we did was we compiled a North East Kildare heritage route map. Again, there's one for everybody in the audience. So what we're delighted to say is that this now is to be found in several towns in North East Kildare. And again, as I say, a job well done. So we're delighted to have completed that. We're blessed with the canals, the Grand Canal and the Royal Canal, flanked with them. And again, what we've done is we've produced a little brochure where we're offering guided tours of the canals in North East Kildare. So you might wonder, what do you do with all these brochures? Well, through the ISP initiative, they came up with a good plan. We have our very own tourism ambassador, and Nikki Cassidy is here with us today, and she smiles when we call her a tourism ambassador. So what Nikki does is she stocks up the local hotels and the local Castletown in particular with the brochures. Because as most of you would know, if you're going to go through a company to do that, that would cost an awful lot of money. Nikki is working with a Community 2 scheme, and I know that Marion is here tonight. So Nikki, on behalf of the forum, thank you very much for all you do for us. The other then, I suppose, objective that came out of the strategy was to try and produce a product locally, because if we want people to come down from Castletown, we have to have a reason to bring them down. So we found that through the guided tours, one particular event that experience that they really enjoyed was when you brought them into the pub where Arthur Guinness was born, and they pulled their own pint of Guinness. Simply because, like, how many people can say that they stood where Arthur Guinness was born and pulled a pint of Guinness? So they kind of feel that they have the bragging rights, and it's a unique experience. So that's something in this area that really sells. The other project that's been supported through the strategy is the Tea Lane Graveyard Restoration Project. And the reason that's in the tourism strategy is because William Connolly of Castletown is buried up in the house, he's buried in the graveyard, but he built the house, and Henry Grattan Jr. is buried at Tea Lane. So we recently, just hot off the press, we have a new Visit Tea Lane brochure, one for everybody in the audience. But the nice thing about this is that Nikki just left it up in Castletown, I'd say 2 days ago. And then she went back down to the graveyard, and down come a couple from Scotland with the brochure in their hand. So that really, we were delighted for that. The tidy towns, naturally, they're a huge part of what we do. So they have lots of projects insofar as the street lights on the main street, the ugly big grey, they're going, and we're getting attractive new street lighting, street furniture, planting. That's not only important to tourists, that's important to us, to the people who live here. So the other project they have going is when you go out Castletown Gate and you just turn left down to the slip, there's a beautiful, there's hoarding there that's blocking a beautiful view of the river. And when you stand there, you're looking across on the grassy bank, you can see it there, the beautiful Donnacomber. Absolutely beautiful land across the way. So they've recently put up new signage with regard to biodiversity. So they're key to what we do. The strategy mentioned events, very important to try and keep a calendar of events going. So the Celbridge Business Association, earlier in the year, they ran a food festival and they had a heritage element to it. We have now, for Heritage Week, we've taken full advantage of the National Heritage Week brochure in that we're promoting a mini heritage festival here in Celbridge. So we have a falconry display here at the slip and just at the gates, falconry display, peat art exhibition, and an exhibition of farmyard machinery dating back to the 17th century. So, and that coincides with the Castletown market. So you have people coming to Castletown, coming down to the Heritage Festival, and you have people going up to the market and they stop off here. So we're really delighted. And the other thing then for Culture Night, for those of you who are of my age, Frank O'Connor's First Confession, that's going to be acted out through local actors, the Inside Theatre Group, in the little chapel down at T Lane, a beautiful, small, little place, so a lovely place to come together. That's really, it is a lot. We're like it doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is, because we're not together that long. So we are very proud of our achievements. I'm going to finish now and finish with a beautiful drone video put together for us by Damien Joyce. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to Damien. He's a volunteer. He put the video together for us as a volunteer. He's here tonight as a volunteer. I also want to thank Gordon Adamson of the Celbridge Camera Club. When you see the website later, most of the images came from Gordon. Again, all voluntary. There's a gentleman here tonight, Ed Longwood. Did I say that right, Ed? Okay. He's a former sports journalist with the Irish Times. And again, in the early days, you have lots of brochures there to bring home with you. Ed was always there to help us out with them. I want to thank John O'Neill, again, calls regularly into the graveyard and takes lots of photos for us. And finally then, just to say to our elective representatives who are here from the Leixlip and Celbridge area, thank you so much for all of the support, and indeed to our mayor here, because without Kildare County Council, without the funding and without working together, we're going nowhere. So, Níl Neart gur Cur le Chéile. I leave you with that. Thank you. Thanks very much.